In a new interview, President Trump tells 60 Minutes he will not negotiate with Democrats about rising health care costs until they give Republicans the votes needed to end the shutdown.
You have helped end these government shutdowns in the past when they came about, and you did it by bringing
I'm very good at it,
you
but I'm
brought
not going to
members of
do it by.
Congress
I'm not going to do
the
it by
White House.
extortion. I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way.
Sounds like it's not going to get solved, the shutdown.
It's going to get solved. Yeah. Oh, it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
So that was the president's first interview with CBS since he sued the network over what he called the deceptive doctoring of an October 2024 interview with Kamala Harris.
Let's go live right now to CNN's chief media analyst, Brian Stelter. Brian, thanks so much for joining us. CBS News aired about a third of that interview on TV. They posted the rest online. What stood out to you the most?
Well, number one, the lack of answers on some key subjects. Trump rarely agrees to an in-depth interview like this, and maybe we're all seeing why. Trump had little to say when Norah O'Donnell brought up people living paycheck to paycheck and struggling with rising costs. He suggested people should blame his predecessor, Joe Biden, and he made generic pledges about fixing health care and lowering the price of gas. But he did have a very clear answer when O'Donnell brought up the public shock about recent videos of ICE raids in cities like Chicago. Here's what Trump said.
I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out.
The president suggesting that ICE officials should go even further in those raids. A really striking comment given what we've seen from the new CNN polling about Trump's overall disapproval and about many Americans' discomfort with those immigration enforcement tactics.
And
Wolf,
of course,
Pamela?
Brian, this sit-down comes with CBS 1 year after the president filed that lawsuit against 60 Minutes over its pre-election interview with Kamala Harris. I know you reported on that extensively. During the interview, he praised the new leadership of Paramount and CBS News. Let's listen to that.
60 Minutes paid me a lot of money, and you don't have to put this on because I don't want to embarrass you, and I'm sure you're not. I think you have a great new leader, frankly. Because the young woman that's leading your whole enterprise is a great, from what I know, I don't know her, but I hear she's a great person.
So between the lawsuit, public attacks, and threats against CBS station licenses, the president's tone towards the network seems to have definitely taken a turn here, Brian.
Yes, very much so. It is clear Trump is making it explicit. He wants these media owners, CEOs, and leaders to be on his side, in his corner, in his camp. He punishes those who are perceived to not be on his side, and he rewards and flatters those he perceives to be his friends and allies. In that clip, he references Bari Weiss, the new editor-in-chief of CBS News, although not by name. He referred to her being a great individual. Weiss arrived just a few weeks ago, actually after this interview had already been booked by CBS. But there's been a lot of intrigue about Weiss and new Paramount CEO David Ellison and whether they are taking steps to ingratiate themselves with the administration. Ellison donated to Biden last year, but he did show up at UFC matches earlier this year, schmoozing with Trump's aides, and he also agreed to hire an ombudsman at CBS. So there's been a lot of intrigue about whether Paramount is trying to shift in some ways or soften to appease the Trump administration. Ellison is currently trying to buy CNN's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery, to create an even bigger media empire. And so far, Warner's board has rebuffed Ellison's offers. It is telling that so many reviewers and commenters about the 60 Minutes episode noticed the editing last night, because it was the editing of the Harris interview that President Trump objected to this time last year. Let me show you what Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer wrote on X overnight. He said, maybe I should go ahead and file an FCC complaint about the editing of this interview. I'll use the exact same language Trump lodged against Harris. At the end of the day, this interview on 60 Minutes was edited for time, just like any network would normally do. And I would argue Trump actually benefited from the edits because it cleaned up some of his meandering comments and his false claims. Pam, Wolf.
All right, Brian Stelter, giving us excellent analysis as usual. Thank you very, very much.
CNN's Sarah Fisher joins me now live in New York. Sarah, a lot has transpired, including new ownership following that 2024 CBS interview with Kamala Harris. So what is the significance of the president now sitting down with the same program that he sued and attacked? And what is it saying? What is he saying about the interview today?
It suggests that the new owners of Paramount, the concessions that they made, Bianna, to get this deal approved to buy the company, have appeased Donald Trump and the right. Now, many things have occurred in the past few weeks since that deal closed on August 7th. As Donald Trump mentioned, they brought in a new editor-in-chief, a woman named Bari Weiss, who runs a blog called The Free Press. They acquired that company. It is considered to be much more favorable to certain conservative ideals than CBS necessarily. They canceled The Late Show with Steve Colbert. That will go off air next year. Many CBS's 60 Minutes staffers have protested about what they say has been overreach and a lack of editorial independence at that show. And so Donald Trump sitting down with CBS, praising its new leadership, suggests that they're happy with the changes and the concessions that have been made. And of course, that's puzzling to the media community, who worries that in order to get any deal done in the media industry now, you have to make these types of changes, if you will, to sort of suck up to the administration.
And he's speaking out about that interview today. I believe he posted on Truth Social already. Obviously, the issues that he had with their previous interview with Kamala Harris was what he thought was editing that he didn't think met editorial standards. There had been a lot of pushback to that. Nonetheless, CBS did agree to a significant amount of money in terms of settling that deal. What is he saying about the interview today and the way that it's been published?
Well, he's much happier about it. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to what happened with Kamala Harris, he leveraged that interview to say that CBS engaged in essentially voter interference. That then turned into an FCC investigation around news fairness, and CBS ultimately settled $16 million with him over it. Now, fast forward to where we are today, some of Donald Trump's most puzzling answers to that interview did not actually air in the 20-something minutes on CBS broadcast. So you have Democrats now coming out and saying, wait a minute, shouldn't we be filing complaints with the FCC that this interview was edited in a distorting way? It's kind of like this script has flipped, if you will, Bianna, but ultimately, I don't think anything gets actually done about it. You have a Republican-led FCC. You had the chairman of the FCC responding to Chuck Schumer today, who says that he should file a complaint, basically saying good luck with that. And, maybe a consumer group could try to sue to try to get something done, but I think that's highly unlikely that it goes anywhere.
All right, Sarah Fisher, always good to see you. Thank you.
I want you to listen to this exchange between Norah O'Donnell on 60 Minutes and the president when she was pushing him on grocery prices being higher.
They've seen their grocery prices go up, inflation.
No, you're wrong. They went up under Biden. Right now, they're going down, other than beef, which we're working on, which we can solve very quickly.
She's not wrong, David. Norah was right. Meat, he was right about. Fruits and vegetables, baked goods, dairy. One thing that has gone down is eggs, which is a good thing. But according to his own government data, things are going up. And again, we don't need the data. Anybody who goes to the grocery store, we all feel it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And obviously, as you and I have talked about a lot here, to me, the economy, it's the ball game here because it's where so many voters are in terms of their priority, obviously their daily lived experience. But it's also where he has leaned in to policy with the tariffs and China in such an unprecedented and really aggressive way that doesn't seem to be capturing and working for people. They don't see that as a real success yet. I know this is going to go before the Supreme Court this week, but to me, the combination of, yes, these are the economic factors at play, but he's taken very specific policies here that are not catching on with the American people.